Today in Algebra 1, Chapter 3, Section 1, we are going to look at solving one-step equations. Okay, to solve a one-step equation, you have to use inverse operations. What is an inverse operation? Well, it's any operation that can undo another operation, such as addition can undo subtraction, subtraction can undo addition, multiplication can undo division, and division undoes multiplication. They are inverse operations. So let's look at how inverse operations can help us solve these one-step equations. Okay, here are 4 examples where we need to solve a one-step equation. All the time when we are solving equations, we need to solve for a variable. Okay, in the first example, we have x plus 7 equals 4. Now remember, we are always trying to solve for the variable. In this case, our variable is x. Okay, what does x have with it? What operation does it have with it on the left side of the equal sign? Well, it has plus 7. What is the inverse operation of adding 7? Subtracting 7. So on the left side of the equal sign, we are going to subtract 7. Now, in order to maintain equivalent equations, whatever we do to the left side of the equal sign, we must also do to the right side of the equal sign. So we subtracted 7 from the left side, so we're going to subtract 7 from the right side. Okay, so positive 7 minus 7, that's going to make that go away. That cancels each other out. That is 0. And we are left with x equals 4 minus 7, which is negative 3. Okay. Our second example, x minus 12 equals 3. Okay, we're looking at the left side of the equation because that is where our variable is. Here's our x. That was what we are solving for. Okay, from x, they are subtracting 12. The inverse operation of subtracting 12 would be to add 12. Okay. If we add 12 to a negative 12, that cancels each other out. That's a 0. So if we add 12 to the left side, then we need to add 12 to the right side. Okay, so that leaves us with x on the left side of the equation, and then 3 plus 12 is 15, so x equals 15. The third example we have here is 4x equals 48. In this case, x is being multiplied by 4. The inverse operation of multiplying by 4 is to divide by 4. Now remember, our ultimate goal is to find 1x, okay? So when we divide 4 by 4, anything divided by itself is 1. So our result is 1x. That is what we are looking for. If we divided the left side by 4, we need to divide the right side by 4. So 48 divided by 4 is 12. So x equals 12. The last example that we're going to look at on this page is x divided by 3 equals 5. Okay, so if x is being divided by 3, we need to do the inverse operation, which is to multiply by 3. If we multiply the left by 3, we multiply the right by 3. That cancels that out, and 3 over 3 is 1, so we get x equals 15. Okay, so let's hit this again because this is going to be on a quiz. What is the inverse operation of addition? It is subtraction. What is the inverse operation of subtraction? It is addition. What is the inverse operation of multiplying? Dividing. And what is the inverse operation of dividing? Multiplying. I would know those things. I would know what that inverse operation is. That is going to be very important. I would think that that might be on a quiz. That is the biggest hint I can give you. The last thing that we're going to look at is solving an equation when the variable is multiplied by a fraction. Now I want you to go back just a second and remember that anytime you multiply a number by its reciprocal, you get a product of 1. For instance, 2 over 3 times its reciprocal of 3 over 2, that's 6 over 6, which equals 1. Okay, now remember, we are looking to solve for 1x, and that becomes very important right here. So let's look at the example, 5, 6, w equals 10. Okay, so we have our variable here, w. We are wanting to find not what 5, 6w is, but what 1w is. Okay, so our variable is being multiplied by a fraction, so we need to multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to take it and multiply it by the reciprocal of 5 over 6, which is 6 over 5. Okay, when we do that, our 6's cancel out to be 1 and 1, and our 5's reduce to be 1 and 1, and we get 1w, and that is our goal. That's our ultimate goal, is to find out what 1w or 1x or 1 variable is. Now remember, whatever you did on the left side of the equal sign must also be done on the right side in order to maintain equivalency on each side of your equal sign. Okay, so now we have to multiply 10 by 6 over 5. Okay, so here we go. We need to reduce the 5 and the 10. 5 into 5 is 1. 5 into 10 is 2. So now you can go 2 times 6 is 12. So W equals 12. Okay, let's look at one more of these. Let's say negative 2/7. Negative 2/7 x equals 4. Okay, again, we need to multiply by the reciprocal. All right, we want to multiply by negative 7 over 2. Now, this is very important. If the fraction is negative, you must multiply by its reciprocal, which also needs to be negative, so that a negative times a negative will turn positive right here. Okay? All right. Now, remember that we must also do that on the other side. Negative 7 over 2. We've got to multiply by that over here. Okay, so now we have the 7 cancels out with the 7. That's 1. And the 2 and the 2 cancels out. That's 1. And we get 1x. That's our goal. Okay, equals, now what can we reduce over here? The 2 and the 4 can reduce. 2 into 2 is 1, and 2 into 4 is 2. And now we multiply 2 times negative 7, which is negative 14. What you got? Okay, so to wrap this lesson up, all we have done to solve one-step equations is to do the inverse operation, or if your variable is multiplied by a fraction, just multiply by the reciprocal. That's all this lesson is, and I would know that for the quiz, in case we had one, that you do the inverse operation, or if your variable is multiplied by a fraction, to multiply by the reciprocal. Y'all have a great day.